Okay, folks, Kava and the liver. I want to give an objective, informational video about this issue. I just saw a video last night of a doctor, of all people, that was bashing making claims based on old evidence. Um, I've looked through a lot of research, and first I want to say I have no agenda other than to present objective facts. Let me give you a summary. So, in the past, there was an issue with the Kava supply that caused some serious liver issues, and I'm going to explain that. In the present, Kava, long term heavy use of Kava, seems to be able to have a minor strain on the liver. It's possible. And I'm going to elaborate on all that. So, to start, we have to explain the difference between noble and 2-day kavas. So they're between 15 and 18 kavalactones, which are the active ingredient, the active alkaloids in kava. There's 15 to 18 of them. Noble and 2-day both have all of these 15 to 18, possibly more also, but they have them in very different ratios. Noble kava has 6 main kavalactones, and I'm not going to name any of them. It's not relevant for this video. And very low and safe concentrations of, it's got the 6, and it's got very low and very safe concentrations of the other ones. Some of those other ones can be harmful in higher concentrations than are present in noble kava. 2-day kava has higher concentrations of those other kavalactones. They, to my knowledge, from what I was able to discern from what I've looked up, those other kavalactones exhibit similar effects, but some of them can have negative health consequences in the concentrations present in 2-day kava. And overall, again, to my knowledge, the taste and the effects of noble and 2-day kava are similar enough that they can be easily confused with one another or intentionally substituted for one another, with someone that has nefarious intentions. So, if you do your research, which I think I did, I scoured PubMed and lots of different scholarly websites, I guess you could say. I didn't just go looking on Wikipedia. You'll find that, and I found that pretty much all the reports of major liver issues and other, very negative health outcomes are from the late 90s and the early 2000s. Those dates are really very relevant because 2-day kava, which again is the variety of kava that has higher concentrations of some of those more harmful kavalactones, 2-day kava is pretty much exclusive to the multiple island nation of Vanuatu. In 2004, the export of 2-day was banned by the Vanuatuan government. I think that's the proper demonym, Vanuatuan. Didn't look that up, but you'll be hard pressed to find. I was hard pressed to find reputable reports of major liver issues and other major negative health consequences from kava post 2004. Yeah, now I'm going to go back to some notes from another video. I looked up some information that came from a study done by the World Health Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization, the WHO and the FAO, respectively. They did this in 2016, and their research indicated that overall, currently, circa 2006, kava consumption has an acceptably low health risk. They cited a long history of human use in the Pacific Islands, Oceania, Micronesia, that part of the world where it's indigenous to. Um, with moderate consumption, they only cited anecdotal reports of minor issues. A couple of the things they mentioned were lethargy and headaches, which it wasn't clear whether that was while being under the influence or if it was kind of like a chronic thing with moderate use. But again, only anecdotal reports, no studies indicating that a link between those minor issues and moderate kava consumption. The extract studies were limited, but they also still, there were no significant health risks correlated with moderate kava extract use. Now, with heavy long term use, kava can be associated in some cases with slightly elevated liver enzymes and a couple other minor conditions like a skin rash, weight loss, kind of chronic recurring nausea, indigestion. And again, those aren't always an outcome, those are just associated with heavy long term use. All these conditions or all these issues, in all cases, appeared to be reversible upon cessation of kava use. Now, the elevated liver enzymes, from what I've been able to discern, is not necessarily indicative of liver injury or a serious issue with the liver. It seems to just be a minor strain on the liver. So if you have a liver injury, it doesn't even seem like you necessarily need to completely avoid kava. I just think, you could run into some issues with heavy long-term use. They also noted that there is no negative effect on cognition long-term. So I scoured a bunch of PubMed articles also, and one or more than one of them noted that the incidence of liver toxicity in Western kava use is 1 in between 60 and 125 million patients. Now, that is excessively rare, so that would probably be a situation where there's some unique, you know, biochemical genetic thing, like someone's sensitive to kava. So it's it's a thing, but it's a very, very rare thing. And also, I believe that was also with heavy long-term use. So now the only issues currently in 2023 with if you use kava in moderation or occasionally, as with any unregulated supplement, there can be issues of contaminants, especially with extracts, because the only way raw kava would have contaminants is if they're like transporting kava powder in like a rusty bin or something, and then you get like metals in it. But with extracts, there can be leftover contaminants from solvents used in the extraction process. That's always a possibility. So all you need to do is just do your research and buy from reputable vendors. If you can get your hands on a lab analysis for the product that you're consuming, that would be even better. I mean, there's always the chance that they could be fraudulent, but it's just an extra level of insurance that you can use. So, like I said, that video I'm not necessarily pro kava. I mean, I started taking it again the last couple days. I've taken it in the past. I like it, so full disclosure on that. But I'm just I'm a fan of objectivity and data and doing proper research, and it kind of pissed me off. One of the things that I noticed in that video, I watched it on my phone, but one of the only articles that this doctor put on the screen big enough that you could read, it cited a bunch of issues from like 2001, 2003, 1999. And I was like, this is like, he was missing a very important detail. So there you have it. I just wanted to lay all that out. In summary, again, if you are using legit noble kava from a reputable vendor, or an extract from noble kava from a reputable vendor, and you use it in moderation, you will most likely not have any issues. And there's some potential for issues if you use it more than moderately. You buy from, a hole in the wall kind of company that's making extracts in their garage kind of thing. But overall, kava is pretty safe for the liver. And like that study mentioned, I think a good way to succinctly put it is that kava exhibits an acceptably low health risk with moderate use. There you go. Catch you guys on the next one.